you are, at which postal operator you are working, in which country you are living. I'm very happy to say hello to all of you. With me are Abby and, well, that's not Abby 1, that's Benjamin. I will tell you a bit about him in a second. We had a small mix-up with the names, but don't be irritated. One is Abby and one is Benji. So for everybody who's looking at the names. It would be great if you could say hello to us, all of you. And if you could put in the chat maybe where you are coming from, and maybe what the current temperature is at where you are. I'm at 20 degrees, and I would like to see somebody who has more than 20 degrees or less than 20 degrees. So say hello, please, to everybody. Let's see. Someone is typing, so somebody got me. That's great. From Malta. 30 degrees. I'm going to Malta. Okay, Malta is #1 for me now. Belgium. Well, Belgium is nice. I'm going to Brussels in December, but that will be freezing cold probably in December. Let me see. Where are you coming from? Tell us. Annette from Sweden, around 20 degrees. Yes, the same as here in Germany at the moment. India. Wonderful, 28 degrees, less than Malta, but very nice. Okay, now we have US. Namibia, that was Benjamin, 32 degrees. Oh gosh, there we have in Qatar, 36 degrees. Virginia, only 16. Are you in Celsius, Lee, or are you in Fahrenheit? I hope it's Celsius. Suriname, 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, Lee, I'm happy that it's Celsius. Fahrenheit would have been quite cold. Pittsburgh, 50 Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's great. So, it's 3:03. The room is filling up. We had more than 120 registrations, so we have quite a big number of people interested in Mexico, 30 degrees. I can't believe that. I'm quite sure you mean 31 degrees, not 13 degrees, right? It can't be that cold in Mexico. Tanzania, I would like to be in Tanzania. 30 degrees sounds nice. Let's wait and see. So I think we have a very, very interesting program and we should start. So hello to everybody. Our today's topic, and I will switch over now to my screen very shortly, is artificial intelligence in direct marketing. But before we go into that one, and I already said welcome, I would like to have Benjamin to say a nice welcome to you from the DMAB. So Benjamin, you should be possible to talk now, so please tell us you're welcome. Okay. Now I only see that he's disconnected. Okay, give me 1 second. We now have
There's only Abby 1.
Abby, yeah, I saw now Abby 2. Maybe that's him. Sorry for that small hiccup. We will have this cleared in a second. Okay. There he is again, Benjamin. Thank you. Now, your talk about DMAB, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, Namibia is still afternoon. It's about 4:03 in PM. But as I said, good morning, afternoon, or evening to all of you. I would like to welcome you all on behalf of the Universal Postal Union and its Direct Marketing Advisory Board. In short, is called DMAP, to the 11th Innovation Talk. I'm Benjamin Jacobs. You can call me Benny, and I'm on the DMAP board by virtue of our postal operators, which is Namibia Post. We are located in Southwest Africa. Our country is called Namibia. We are neighboring South Africa, Botswana, Angola, and Zimbabwe. Yes, I have over 12 years postal experience, but I've been around to various various industry in the mobile telephony, gas industry. I also used to work for our state newspaper. So I stayed like a year in the media industry. Yeah, so that's in a nutshell for just a bit of a background. I was actually I took over from my colleague last year as the chairperson of the Direct Marketing Advisory Board, and it has been quite a good journey thus far. For any newcomers, this session is being hosted by the UPU Universal Postal Union Direct Marketing Advisory Board, a group of postal operators and private sector members that aims to promote direct marketing worldwide through the postal network. This series started in 2020. The success is a result of relevant topics and our talented guest speakers, moderators, enthusiastic audience like yourself, and the DMAP Secretariat at the UPU. I don't know whether Frederick is online, but the Secretariat is Frederick and Abby number one. I'm Abby number two. If you have been attending the sessions, you know we have been focusing the series on innovation and disruptive technologies that are shaping the world of marketing. To do that, what is better than learning from the best? I mean, that's why we have our host this afternoon. This is Nai Namibia. Artificial intelligence has significantly impacted the field of direct marketing in all other fields, in the world, transforming the way business engages and interact with their customers and prospects. This particular webinar will provide a glimpse into the future, exploring how artificial intelligence is reshaping the landscape of direct marketing and how these mind-blowing new technologies can be used in postal direct marketing, as well as paving the way for unprecedented customer engagement. On that score, I would like to thank you very much, Martin, for taking the time to be with us today and share your thoughts on the theme artificial intelligence in direct marketing. We wish you all a great hour of discovery and discussion. Back to you, Martin. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Benny. That was a great introduction, and I say thank you to the UPU and the Direct Marketing Advisory Board for inviting me to do this, well, not talk, to do this dialogue, because I think we should have a very, very nice dialogue now. Abby, I will switch you off. Sorry for that. Bye-bye. And we are going over to our main topic of the day. Give me 1 second. Oops, no, that was the wrong one. This it is. So, what is our topic today? Artificial intelligence. Imagine that you have to do a webinar on artificial intelligence, and you're not a native English speaker, and Abby, as part of the Direct Marketing Advisory Board, asked you to supply a very nice, very engaging description of the webinar to make this possible to invite as many as possible participants. Well, that was my task some weeks ago when we had the idea about this webinar, and I'm not a native speaker. And for me, it's very hard to write a description which is, well, intelligent, but at the same time engaging, and what makes you to come here. So what did I do? Well, I thought, please change this text to a stimulating and engaging description of a webinar. Well, this is about AI in text and in image and in audio. And of course, we will have a look at what all this content means for direct marketing. So now just ask yourself, if you would get this task from me, how long do you think you would need to write a description for a webinar which is great and stimulating and engaging in English? So this would be now part of an interactive part. So if you just answer in the chat, just write down, what do you think, how many minutes do you need to write a description like that? Do you need 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour perhaps, 60 minutes? What do you think? How much time do you need to write a webinar description? That would be interactive. So you could write in your chat and just send down 10 minutes or 30 minutes or something like that. Someone is typing, so I'm interested. 10 minutes. Santosh, you are good in English, better than me. Lee, 20 minutes. Well, you are a native speaker. That's unfair. Let's see, what do we have? 12 minutes, around 20 minutes. Okay, so I think most of you think that you are faster than I would have been, but well, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed that you can do this that fast. I probably would have needed at least 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm with you. 30 minutes would have been my time. So let's try to do that. We put that text, I just put it in here. I do a copy paste and we put that one here. Just what I said, that was our task. And we just say on push. Unlock the future, explore the wonders of AI. Well, that was faster than I could read. And now it's about 5 seconds. We have a nice description. Unlock the future, explore the wonders of AI in text, image, and audio at our upcoming webinar. Dive into the captivating world of AI as we embark on an extraordinary journey, and so on, and so on, and so on. Well, even the fastest one of you, which was about 10 minutes, was about, well, 60 times slower than this. So that's the power of generating generative AI. And I think most of you have used ChatGPT in some way. Of course, this is the famous ChatGPT I just used. And for you, I just used the not so perfect version 3.5, the free version. We could do a fourth version, which is a paid version, but I wanted to show you what is free of charge. And one of the things which is interesting, if you see at this title, you see Unlock the Future, Explore the Wonders of AI in Text, Image, and Audio. And if I did this, when I did this some weeks ago, I would have that text. Get ready to immerse yourself in the cutting edge world of artificial intelligence, and so on and so on. So I got a totally different solution. And we will come back to that one, that we get different solutions for the same input later on, but that's something to have in mind when you think about AI. But to be honest, you're not here to think about AI to describe webinars. You are here to think about AI in the context of direct marketing. And of course, this is a much different context. And that's what I would like to use the next 30 minutes together with you, to go a little bit deeper in how can artificial intelligence be used in the context of direct marketing. So let's start. Let's think. Very simple. We have to do a campaign. We are marketeers. I might be one of your clients from a postal operator. I might be from a big company. Let's say I'm in a financial institution and I have to do a campaign. And one of the first things would be, okay, how to do a campaign. Maybe I'm a junior marketeer and I have to think, what do I have to think of if I'm doing a great campaign? So we could use a prompt like that one. Imagine you are the best direct marketeer in the world. What steps would you go to develop a mind-blowing, award-winning direct marketing campaign? What is your blueprint to achieve this? Please give me at least 5 to 10 steps and describe each step. So let's dive a little bit deeper into that prompt. First of all, what is a prompt? Well, if you look for the definition of a prompt, a prompt is a quick, sharp instruction designed to make something happen. And what I can tell you is, to write good prompts is the most important, well, probably knowledge you should have for the near future. To tell the AI, to tell the artificial intelligence what you want, is very, very important to do it in the right way. So if we go back and say, okay, what would I have to do for a direct marketing campaign? That would be a very simple prompt, very short, very easy. If you go down now, I get something like define your objectives, identify your target audience. I should have a contact list. He is telling us about direct marketing challenge, compelling messages, an eye-catching creative, set a budget, timing and frequency, compliance, execution, and so on. So I get a lot of stuff here. And what you see is some of this might be really good. So if you say, have a look at, for example, define your objectives, start by clearly defining your campaign goals. What do you want to achieve with this campaign? Common objectives, including increasing sales, generating leads, boosting brand awareness, or driving website traffic. So if I want to go deeper, I have to do a better prompt. So I would have to go to describe ChatGPT in this case as an artificial intelligence, more detailed what I want. So if you compare these two prompts, the first step I'm doing here is I say, imagine you are the best direct marketeer in the world. So I tell ChatGPT to have a role. So you could say, imagine you are a beginner marketeer. You could say, imagine you are an old-fashioned printer marketeer. You could say, imagine you are a CEO of a company. So depending on the role you are giving him, you might get different answers and different point of views. And then I tell him, I do not only want a great campaign, but I want an award-winning direct marketing campaign. So I tell him a little bit more about that it has to be very creative and great. And then at the end, I go a little bit more in detail and tell him I want to have at least 5 to 10 steps, not 14 like in the first answer. I could even say 10, I could say 5, I could say 7, and describe each step. And if you would do that, you would get that answer here. That was at least, so he gave us 12. And something is very similar to what we got, define clear objectives is something we got as well. But there are other things here like multi-channel approach. We didn't have that one in the first session. Or like the one, recognition and award submission. Finally, after your campaign is live and achieving results, consider submitting it for an industry award and recognition. So he gives us in a second, or let's say 3 seconds, a great starting point for a campaign. Well, wonderful. I'm good. I'm now a junior marketeer. I can go with this list and I can start my campaign. And one of the first points here is know your audience. Well, I know that my audience for my campaign might be Generation Z. And I have to write a briefing for my agency. I might still have an agency. And you all know it's a very tedious work. It's not very interesting to write these briefings, and you have to write long descriptions of the target group and so on. So I say my target group is Gen Z. Can you please write a target group description, including how they live, communicate, what they do, how their values are, and so on. Please integrate especially how they look at their finances and what is important for them in an insurance, because as I told you, I want to sell some insurances. So let's do that. We go again here into ChatGPT. I put that small prompt here and we start. And he tells us about the demographics, about the lifestyle and communication, about values and interests, about finance and now insurance. So education, transparency is important for the Gen Z and has some kind of overall briefing or summary of that thing. So again, this was 3, 4, 5 seconds, and I have a full description of a target group that I had described here. So imagine writing briefings that way. You are probably much, much faster than you have ever been. Well, that sounds good, but we do not only want to have a briefing, we might even do not want to still have an agency. What we might want to have is to write our own briefings. So why do we need an agency if we can do this ourselves? So let's go to the next thing. So that was the same result, or not the same, the result I got some days ago when I did this. You see, it's a little bit different organized, but it's more or less, of course, the same content. So go back. Let's do another prompt. Please write a direct mail letter to a member of the Gen Z target group. I'm selling insurances for smartphones and want them to buy my insurance. The insurance does not have any advantages to my competitors, but please make it sound like it's the best insurance ever sold and give them compelling reasons to buy it. The letter should be organized to the AIDA model, attention, interest, desire, action. Please include a great call to action and an excellent proscriptum. As they can't really read anymore in this generation, make it a short letter. You see what I did here is I wrote a very detailed briefing, a very detailed prompt of what I want to have. I said, organize it by the attention, interest, desire, action model. Write a call to action, write a PS, make it short. And I made it even harder because I couldn't tell him any advantages of my insurance. So I told him, find something, make it sound great. So let's do that. I'm going into that. I put my prompt here. I say start it, and we get your name, your company name, blah, 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 blah. Subject, protect your smartphone like never before. Dear, let's wait. I go a little bit upwards. Dear Joe. Yes, now the attention-grabbing headline. Don't let life unexpected surprises ruin your smartphone experience. Attention. We understand how important your smartphone is in your daily life. It's more than just a device. It's your connection to the world, your memories, and your lifeline to everything you love. What if he told you there's and so on and so on. And now it's interest. Now it's desire. Why you really want that one. Total peace of mind, instant digital access, affordability, and a customizable coverage. Now the call to action, ready to safeguard your smartphone like never before. Don't miss out. Visit our website ad to get an instant quote and secure your smartphone's future today. And the PS, act now and reserve a special Gen Z discount of 15% on your first month premium. And that's it. Sincerely, and the name, and blah, blah. And another PS, remember the Gen Z discount won't last forever. Secure your smartphone's future today and save 50% on your first month's premium. Well, this is really not bad. It's probably not perfect. It's probably not the final letter, but you got that for within 10 seconds. And imagine how much your agency would have cost you to write a letter like that in the first step. And probably that one wouldn't have been perfect as well. But this is not everything it can do. Let's go one step further. Let's make this even more interesting, because now it's getting interesting. I said in my prompt, it's to a member of the Gen Z target group. But that was broad. We could do this deeper. So let's go. That was the first I got the last time. So interestingly, the last time I got even some emojis here in the text ChatGPT gave me. So this time it's a little bit different. But we can now do, please write 2 versions, one for females and one for males. And once again, I get 1 version for females and 1 version for males. So let's have a look at 2 different versions, and he is doing this again. So what is the difference now? Let me see, we go up. So protect your smartphone with style and confidence. Elevate your smartphone experience with your company's name, exclusive insurance for women. Oh. The device, it's an extension of your style, a hub for your creativity, and a source of inspiration. It deserves nothing but the best. So we are thrilled, and it's a unique flair. So do you see the writing? So now let's go down and have a look at the male version. Now we get the male version. Unleash the full potential of your smartphone with our exclusive insurance. Turbocharge your smartphone with the cutting-edge insurance for men. We know your smartphone isn't just a gadget, it's your wingman, it's your navigator and your toolbox for everything life throws at you. We want to introduce you and so on for your tech-savvy lifestyle. Do you see the difference in style? So suddenly, we do not have one version, we have two versions of a letter. And this is just two versions. Now imagine to go much, much deeper and to do this on a more individualist style. And I will come to the conclusions out of that in a minute. But before we do that, I want to show you some small ideas, what other tools you could use. And I will show you only one more tool now for text. There are thousands out there. You can have a look at Jasper there are special tools now for headlines, for emails. There are special tools for writing email letters, full emails. There are special tools for writing ads. So there are a lot of things out there, but I want to show you two things which I really thought interesting. The first one for text is we are going to DeepL now. That's another AI tool. Give me 1 second. Where is DeepL? And what we could do is, for example, is let me make this better so that you can see this better. We are putting our English text here, and this is part of the English text that I got from ChatGPT, from one of these messages. Are you reading this message on your beloved smartphone, the epicenter of your life? Imagine a world without it, unthinkable, right? But what if the unexpected happens? And now we can go here and say, okay, we need another style. We might need this more technically. Let's do this. And now are you reading this message on your cherished mobile phone, the hub of your life? Consider a world without it. Unimaginable, isn't it? However, what if there was an unforeseen event? So you see the difference in writing? Do you see the difference in style? So this is the technical style. We might have an academical style. So it would be an inconceivable to imagine a world without it, wouldn't it? However, have you ever considered the notion of an unforeseen event occurring? Well, you can say the same thing. You see that this is about probably double the amount of words. Very typically for academic writing, you need the double of words for the same content. But we couldn't do it the other way around. We can do it simple and say simple. So it's even simpler. Can you imagine? It's unimaginable, isn't it? Yet that what if unforeseeable events occur? So you can change styles, but you can't only change styles, you can change languages. Of course you can. You know Google Translate. But now it's not only Google Translate. Now it might be Chinese. Now it might be Finnish. Let's do that. Or it might be Dutch. Or it might be Turkey or whatever you want. So you all know the pieces probably by now. You have seen ChatGPT. You got a little bit of what I told you in the last meetings. But now let's try to step back, to go back a little bit and have a look at this from an overall point of view. What did we learn out of that? And what does this mean for direct marketing? Well, the first thing I really sure that we are coming into a world where the difference between artificial and real is zero. We are not yet there. There is a small difference and it's not yet perfect. But overall, the difference between artificially generated and real generated by a human being is nearly zero by now, and it will be zero in the next years. So we can get something which is nearly, or in future, maybe probably at all, identically to what a human being is doing, is generating. And the second thing, which is even more interesting, the marginal cost of individual content is zero as well. So if there's a possibility to generate content like the text, like the letters you just have seen, with artificial intelligence in a quality where there is no difference to a human creative writer, copywriter, the marginal cost of this letter or of every new version of a letter is zero. The first might cost you quite a lot because you have to get the whole AI cloud system and you have to learn it, to show you how to learn it, what your style is, what your corporate wording might be, and all so on. But the moment you have done that work, the marginal cost for the next piece of content is zero. So what I just showed you, let's think about that one. I think this is really important. If you have one version of a letter now, and you send this out to 100,000 people, we all know that this is not the perfect direct marketing because the response rates won't be that big because it's the same letter to 100,000 people. The target group is too big and it's probably not on point. So what I just showed you with ChatGPT is, okay, let's cut this target group in half, and we have two target groups, one of men and one of women, and we have two versions of a letter. Normally, you would have to have a copywriter who changes the wording of the letter from a male version to a female version or from a neutral version to both versions, and you would have to pay for this. And then you have two versions for 50,000 persons each in your target group. Okay, you say, that's not still not very good. Let's do this a little bit more detailed. We now do female versions for 5 generations, from Gen Z, from baby boomer to millenniums to Gen Z or to the new alpha. And we do the same for the male versions, 5 versions for the different generations to have different target groups. Then we would have 10 versions, but we will have to pay 10 copywriters or 1 copywriter to write 10 letters. So the marginal cost for each target group, if you do this manually in real life in the past, is not zero. It's the writing of a letter. It's maybe a little bit cheaper than the first letter, but in the end, every new target group means additional work. And you have additional work for the copywriter, you have additional work for the lecturers, you have additional work in how to make sure that everything is okay and everything is right. So you have, with each new target group, you have a lot of cost. Well, in the future, the marginal cost for that is not anymore 100 euros or 1,000 euros, whatever euros or dollars or something else. The marginal cost is zero. The implication of that is very, very clear. It's endless possibilities. It's something we never had in the past in direct marketing, the possibility to do endless content, endless versions of a letter. You can do 100,000 different letters to 100,000 different customers about the same topic. And you can have these 100,000 versions with a much higher probability of response, so much higher response rates than you ever had before. And that's the big difference which is coming to us now in direct marketing in the AI revolution. It's not simply that we can use these tools to write content and to make our content better. The real change is that the marginal costs are zero, so we can use this in endless possibilities, in endless versions, in an endless circle of individualization. That's something like we always wished for 100 years now, for the last 30 years. Database marketing, then it was CRM, then it was something like one-to-one marketing, individualized marketing, personalized marketing, and so on. If we are open to ourselves it was never that. It was never individualized. It was never one-to-one. It was just, well, segmented. But now we have the possibility to have the segment of one, but without additional cost. And that's a game changer in direct marketing. And that's a game changer you all can use with your clients and your postal operators. Before we go into the discussion, which I'm very interested in, I would first of all would like to show you that we are not only talking about text. Text was just one example. We are talking about images, of course, as well. So if you want to have an image for your direct mail, you go to something like Adobe Firefly, you put in a prompt. The prompt is a light bulb with paint and drops on the side of the light bulb, very colorful. So I want some light bulb with some paint drops on the sides, and it should be very colorful. And here we are. These 4 images are just generated in this second for myself. So nobody else have ever seen these light bulbs. Well, but they are more like comic styles. So maybe we say, no, I want to have photo styles. So we put them in photo style, and we say, no, I don't want the square format. I want to have 4:3. So let's do this again. And now we get some seconds later, come on, we get photo style, and we get them in the 4:3 format. And now I just showed you that this is possible. Imagine again, you are not doing this once, you are not doing this twice. You have 100,000 letters with 100,000 leaflets on them. And each leaflet has a personal, individual photo, which is perfectly suited to the responder or to the person who are getting this and then should respond. So you're doing this in a very, very broad level. By the way, as we are doing something on photos, I want to show you some other things. Don't believe your eyes anymore. So for example, this photo, I shot myself in the desert of Jordan. So it's in the desert of Jordan. And what you normally do not have in Jordan is polar lights, northern lights. So, but I think some northern lights would look nice here. So let's do some generative fill. So I just put here, I want to have some northern lights in the Jordan desert. And we wait for some seconds. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And well, this does not really look like a northern light. Where are my different versions? Here we are. Here are some northern lights, not very strong. Here are some, so we are not yet happy. So we stay strong northern lights and we generate again, because this is not strong enough. We want some more northern lights. And he doesn't like northern lights today. I did this when I made the presentation, and I can show you the results I got there. Give me 1 second. These were the northern lights I got the last time. So interestingly, the problem is that the AI is doing something new every time you ask it. And it's part of the prompting, and maybe my prompt northern lights is not good enough here to make this really working. We can do something else. Imagine something you have very often in direct marketing. You have a photo, and the problem is that the photo doesn't have the right format. Imagine you want to have this photo of the Oman desert. I did that one in Oman, and it's too small. You need some more desert here, but the photo doesn't give it to you. So again, you just go on generative. Where is this? Generative fill. You don't say anything, just say generate. This is even faster. And we are generating some Oman desert, which was never there. So Do you see the difference? That is the new part. This is the old part. This is another version of that. And this one, no, I think that one is the best. Ready is the photo in the right format. Or you are in Germany. I did that photo in Cologne. And you think, well, the dome here is nice, but it's not perfect. We want to get rid of the dome here of the church. And we say generative fill. Where is it? Here it is. We say nothing. And now let's have a wait what we might get. Come on. No dome anymore. No church anymore. Okay, looks good. There are different versions here. I think that one is best. The last time I did this, I got one version with a skyscraper. So what we could do here is let's do again where we have it. Again, we mark this and we say skyscraper. Let's do that. And sorry for being the German version of Photoshop. I only have that one. And by the way, for the ones, oh, there's a skyscraper. Or do you need another one, that one? Or do we want to have that one? So what you see is, don't believe your eyes anymore. What you see is not real anymore in the future. And that's the same for text and the same for other things. So coming back to marketing, this is an application. I can't show to you this now. It's Model Me. You can go to the website of Model Me. And that's not a human being. What you see here is a virtual model. And you can, well, with these sliders, you can change the model to look the way you would like it to look. You can change the hair length, you can change the ethnicity, you can change the hair colors, you can change the length of the trousers or of the skirt or whatsoever. So you put together your personal model. And now imagine, again, direct marketing with 100,000 different versions of the same style sent to different persons with the same differences, but with different models individually organized to the response of the individual person. By the way, if you want to do something funny, you can follow this link. I'm sure Abby is sending around this link, but I can do this. I put it in the chat. And here you are. So here the chat is. So if you use that, you get a test of 20 models, photos of models, and 10 of them are real, 10 are not, and you have to decide which one are which. I tried that test and I failed completely. So I'm interested to see where you are going on. So that's not all. It's not only text, it's not only image, it's sound as well. So now you are able to get your Notter, for example. Oops, now I have to App.Notter. Okay, I can't read that. Here we are. So here we have the big words of JFK, John F. Kennedy, telling the world that he is a Berliner, a very famous speech of him. And you could just click on that, and then you get the results automatically made. And you see here, and therefore, as a free man, I take pride in the words, ich bin ein Berliner. So what you see here is he still has some problems with the right language, because that part was in German and that part was in English. So there are some limits still, but it's getting better every day. And I can really recommend you to look at these things like that prompt. You can use 11 Labs. Give it a try. It's a wonderful thing. I go into that one, better 11 Labs. So we can just put the speech here again. And let's hear what they are saying. Okay. I fear you couldn't hear it. Give me 1 second. I give this to you in a second. Okay, once again.
The words, Ich bin ein Berliner, and therefore as a free man, I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
I hope you could hear that. If not, I would really recommend you to test that application as well. Verse. It's called 11 Labs. The link is in the document they get. And if you want to, just a nice tip of AI for your personal use, use AI to do a real-time voice optimization. Go to Crisp AI, and with that one, you have an AI usable on your computer to get better quality in your voice if you do a video conference. So you have no hall, you have no other sounds around you. It's a real-time voice optimization tool, which is free of charge for 2 hours a day. So use it and have fun with that one. So what I wanted to tell you is there are endless possibilities because the marginal costs are zero. Some rules around it before we go into discussion. So for the end of my talk, first of all, no goal, no gain. You have to really think hard about how you would like to use AI. And if you start to use it, you have your target directly in front of your eyes and go in that direction. So it's like every other project as well, no goal, no gain. There's one other rule which is quite old. I studied information technologies in the late 90s, now early 90s. And what we learned even then was garbage in, garbage out. And that's the same for AI. A lot of problems with AI at the moment are not about the tool itself, it's about the learning of the tool. And the better you learn the tool, the better the data is you use for the tool, the better is the quality of the output. And this is still true, and especially true for artificial intelligence. One rule you have to think about is what I showed you before. The identical input doesn't give you an identical output. So that's very, very, very hard to come by. And I think this might be one of the biggest challenges if we go into the usage of artificial intelligence in marketing. So imagine the scenario I told you about, the 100,000 different letters with 100,000 different pictures for 100,000 customers. If you have to ask your legal department to say yes to that idea, I'm quite sure that you might get a big no at the beginning because you can't really read that 100,000 versions. So you don't really know anymore what is sent out from your company because identical input is not identical output. So that's one of the challenges, the hurdles I think we have in front of us is to see AI as well from a legal point of view and how we tackle that one. Well, if you're a person, I would say guard your data like your wallet. Whenever you use something like ChatGPT or something else, whatever you do is going into the big ocean of data available to ChatGPT. So you should be a little bit careful of what you put into that one. So no customer data, please, no confidential data. Be a little bit careful about what you're doing there. I think in the end, it's about the team makes the dream. Artificial intelligence can do 80% of your work, especially the tasks you don't really like to do. Imagine, remember the writing of the briefing? Nobody likes to write briefings, especially not the part with describe the target group, describe the product, and so on. And that's something artificial intelligence can do, but I think there is some manual work left to make it perfect. It's not yet perfect, and that's something where human beings together with artificial intelligence can really revolutionize direct marketing. And coming to the end, a fool with a tool is still a fool. So learn how to do the right prompting, learn how to make the best prompts, learn how to use all these possibilities, and give your customers as a postal operator the possibilities into their hands. Imagine a postal operator who helps their clients to write better letters to their customers because of artificial intelligence. What is the result of that? The result is that the response rates will get higher. If the response rates are higher, the ROI gets higher. So the possibility to send out letters and more letters gets higher because the ROI of the campaign is higher. So you are helping your clients, and at the same time, you're helping yourself as postal operators. Imagine you have a double in response rate, what this would mean for your customers, but as well, what this would mean for your business, because your customers are doing more campaigns, because the campaigns are more profitable for them. And last but not least, one small tool, if you want to have a new job, I think a prompt engineer might be a good idea. This is an actual campaign for getting a new prompt engineer for a company, and they are paying between $250,000 and $335,000 dollars a year for being a prompt engineer. So you're thinking about a new job, maybe that might be a good new job for you. But last but not least, I would say just do it, just start. And if you don't know where to start, you will find the links of what I used here in this presentation, and all the tools I used are at the moment free of charge. At least the minimal versions are free of charge. Some are freemium models like ChatGPT, where you have to pay a little bit for the higher versions. But everything I showed to you today was free of charge. So I would say have fun with it, just do it and go into that direction. That was my part, and we have about 10 minutes left. Isn't that great? That's wonderful. So we have time left to do some discussion, to have a dialogue. So now would be the chance to talk a bit with each other. And I would love to hear your ideas. I would love to hear your thoughts. And I would love to hear your examples of where you already use AI in your postal operator or your company. So if you're interested, let's talk a little bit. Somebody is already typing. You can just, Annette, will we share the presentation? That's a question I have to give over to Abby, because I know that sometimes they shared the presentations. Abby, I just gave you the permissions to open your camera if you want that. And everybody else, what about the presentation, Abby?
Thank you, Martin. We will be sharing the presentation, of course, with the DMAB members, and also the recording with the DMAB members. That's one of the perks of being a DMAB member. And we will hopefully put it online at some point. But for DMAB members, yes, you will be receiving it.
Okay, thanks, Abby. So for the one who are not DMAB members, you might need to wait a bit. So for them, I give you a very short overview. 1 second. So somebody might want to make a screenshot of that one so that you can start. I can't do this endless, but maybe for another 10 seconds. So any other questions? Have you used artificial intelligence? I would like to hear your examples and hear your impressions, what you are using and what you are doing already there. So please, come on. I can't imagine that you're all not using artificial intelligence. Angelo, you use ChatGPT, yes. And Bart is another interesting tool. Yes, Tanya, I use that one as well for creating text for social media using that. Yeah, every day, Annette. I'm myself as well, yeah. ChatGPT, yes, starts me off to write memos. Yeah, wonderful. That's a good thing. I even answer sometimes emails with ChatGPT. Use DeepL for international team translation. I think that's a great tool to do that one. Yes, absolutely. So you're using some of the tools as well. Did anybody of you build a whole campaign on AI? The generative fillers on images will be extremely useful. Yes, I assume that. I use that quite often as well. I just did a portrait of a colleague some days ago. And when we wanted to use the portrait on LinkedIn, the problem was that it was small, but there was some parts missing on the sides. So we used just Firefly, or we used Photoshop. And in seconds, I had a full picture, and we could use that one on LinkedIn. And that was fantastic. So did anybody of you started a campaign? Did you use it in direct marketing already? Do you have clients who are using this already? Do you have agencies using this? If somebody wants to have the possibility to be seen and to speak, it's not a problem. Just put your name down there and I will give you the camera and the microphone, not a problem. So we can make this a real conversation, a real dialogue. So Annette, I think that's something to think about, isn't it? To think about using AI. You have a question, Robin. Yes, the issue of AI is only as good as the data it's plugged into. Yes, garbage in, garbage out. So do you think there's a risk that AI can be discriminatory? Yes. Yes, it is. Very simple. Of course it is, because all the texts AI learned from are human texts. And as we all are not really neutral, not really fair, I think it's absolutely sure that AI, has the same thinking as the majority of humans. I think we have to train the AI in the future to get better with that. And I think that there's a big chance lying in that one, because I myself, I often have the feeling that I'm not discriminatory from myself, but sometimes I am. So I have, for example, have a big challenge in writing not only the male version, but the female version as well. But if I use AI to help me, I get a much better style, and at the same time, I get much less discriminatory. So I think there's a chance in that, but Robin, absolutely right. At the moment, I'm absolutely sure that AI is not really neutral. So there's another question of Stefan. How is the value of marketing agencies going to change in view of AI? I would say we do not need madmen, we need mathmen. That would be my short answer to that one. So Mad Men, the old TV series you probably saw, drinking a glass of red wine and then having the great idea for the next marketing campaign, that time is over. What we need is agency. We still need agencies, at least at the moment, but I think they will change a lot over the next years. So the business model of agencies will change. In the past, the business model of agencies was a lot of times so that they didn't get a lot of money for the creative idea, but they got a lot of money for making the creative idea in different versions, for different target groups, for different channels, for different pieces, for different sizes, and so on. So they made their money with the things AI can do as well, but they didn't make much money with the idea itself. And I think this will have to change for the agencies to live in the future. They will have to change themselves to a company which makes money out of the creative part, which is still better if human beings are doing this than AI. But they won't be able to do money to make money with the things AI can does better. I used to, there's somebody, quite decent outputs. Angelo, great. The campaign strategy, that's fantastic. Abby, about AI versus copyright or plagiarism. Very, very interesting point. At the moment, it looks like that a text which was created by AI cannot be copyrighted. At least it looks like that in most of the countries. What does this mean? That means on one side, you can't have a copyright on your mailing text. Well, great, doesn't matter. You couldn't do that in the past, really good anyway. On the other side, it could mean that you have to change that text and only write it together with an AI. And that's a difference. So if you have still a human writer who uses AI to write his own text, then it still be copyrighted. If it's not, if you have this version of 100,000 different versions of a letter, then it gets interesting from a copyright point of view. The other point, plagiarism. Yes, that's part of it as well, because the AI is learning from everything we have in the web. But on the other side, I've never seen a copywriter who did not learn from everything he read before. So we are all learning as human beings as well from what we read, and we are using what we read. So even take the big, great composers like Beethoven or Mozart. You wouldn't imagine that they sat in their own room and never heard anything else beside of their own music. So they got ideas, they got impressions, they learned about other composers and their music, and they were influenced by that, and then they built their own music on that. And that's actually what AI is doing, just a little bit faster than we are doing this. So I could show you, go to Soundraw.io, the last link I sent to you. That's the one where you can generate music for yourself. You just say the style you want, you just say the length you want, and you get your own music. And again, yes, it's not copyrighted, but I wouldn't say it's a plagiat. Okay, I think we are ending in the time. I don't see any more questions. I hope that you had some fun. I hope that you learned a little bit, that you got new ideas. And I would be very, very happy to see you again in some kind of innovation talk, inspirational talk number. Oh, I have to look. What did we have this time? I think it was number 11, right? So this was the UPU Innovation Talk 11. And it would be great to see you again at the UPU Innovation Talk 12. Keep posted. I think Abby will send us some invitations sometime in the future for the next one. And I'm looking forward to see all of you again. Bye-bye.